Hey, Liam. Today is Friday the 8th of August, so 2:30 in the afternoon. And this is the second video that I'm recording today. 'Cause the first one, I talked about work. What an idiot. Talking about work. Yeah. Anyway, about work again. So, obviously, I have to beach again. Obviously, at the place where I always sit. Do I always sit in the same place? I don't even know if those rocks are in the same place every time. Like, I don't have like a favorite rock to sit on. And even if I did, sometimes there are people hovering over my shoulder, so I don't want to like sit next. I mean, I'm already the crazy person talking to himself on the phone, right? Maybe I'm on a call or something. Anyway, the beach today is beautiful, and the tide is going out. The tide was in when I recorded my video this morning. Sorry, holding up the wrong phone. And there wasn't very much beach, but now the beach is the waves are receding really fast. It's kind of like summertime and wintertime when it takes a long time for it to arrive, and then it's there for a while, and it takes a long time for it to fade away. Um, that's what high tide, low tide is like. But in the middle, things change really fast, just like in the springtime and in the fall. Like you blink or you're not paying attention one week or another in the fall or the spring, and the weather's changed a lot. That coat that you bought that you were going to wear, 10 times in the spring, you had one chance and you blew it. So things change really fast on the beach when tide is going out. And it gets really interesting because the beach is also draining. Right now, the lifeguards are having problems with um, uh, undertow. Is that it? No, riptides. They're because the water is trying to rush off the beach, and it's you can't be like you have to have like both feet on the ground. Like you can't be like swimming in the water because the tide will just carry you out. I'm going to keep doing this to the lens over again. I'm sorry. Not sorry at all. Uh, so I love walking back and forth on the beach when the tide is going out like this because it's changing so much. It's so interesting. It's revealing things that you couldn't have seen because they changed in the past 12 hours. There's all sorts of interesting like rivulet channels and weird diamond patterns as the waves are coming up and just changing the beach right before your eyes. It's really interesting. There are also inlets that have formed, and inlets are trying to drain while a wave is trying to fill it up again. It makes lots of cool, like swirl patterns as the sandbars are starting to become not visible, but dry or above, whatever. The waves will come up, and then instead of going back where they came from, the water will just spread away in all directions, and some of those directions are sideways, which also contributes to riptides. It's too much water trying to rush up from a single point. My favorite type of wave is the standing wave. So as the water is coming up the beach, and I'm just like mesmerized by it. The water's coming up the beach, and water's also trying to flow off the beach at the same time. And instead of it being like a wave coming in, it just kind of halts it in place, this ridge. And as the water is also pushing off the beach, it loses even the cresting foam on it, and it's just this up down. And it's this long line of them. I find them mesmerizing as I'm walking and just watching them or walking down along them. I find it really cool. I see them too that as the water is kind of going off the beach, as the shock wave of the waves coming in the beach, it creates like a bouncing ripple. So it'll be like a big ripple and then like two or three or more kind of like echoes of it in the water. And as you're looking at it and just kind of like studying it for a second, in 5 seconds it's gone too. And I think that's really cool. A day like today, there's a steady breeze from the southeast. It's coming off the water. The best standing waves are when there's no wind at all, and it's like glass, and it's like you can see the lensing of the water on the shadow of causing shadows. It's really interesting on the sand underneath, the wet sand. But a day like today, where it's breezy, all of the water surfaces everywhere are rippled, and it doesn't look as pretty. However, as a beachgoer, I appreciate this breeze because if there was no breeze, if the standing waves looked like glass, it would be so hot and oppressive that I wouldn't want to be here. Yeah, priorities. But the water's nice. I mean, it's been in the sun all day, and so it's not. It's cold when you touch it, but it's nice when you're on your feet all day long. Yeah, like I have been like an idiot. Um, the beach is different, not just like moment to moment on a day like this, but every 50 feet, the beach is different, and I think that's don't want to knock my stuff off a rock into the water. Just right there. It's right there. Trying to not get splashed. Um, so the beach is a mile and a half long, and it changes the entire length of it. The type of sand at that spot, the amount of pebbles and the type of pebble in it. There are rocks in some places, which changes things. Imagine people that come in and they always park in a certain place or they always stay in a certain rental. They may not know that the beach changes um, drastically over its length. Some people know that and they're like, oh, don't go over here because there's always seaweed. And it's true. The wind's usually from the southwest and they blow the seaweed and it accumulates on the northern part of the beach. Unless it's a northern wind, in which case the whole beach is effed. There's no real bugs this year, which is great. Haven't been really bugs anywhere this year. Knock on wood, there's no one around me. It's probably because around here we have triple E, the mosquito virus, Eastern equine encephalitis. I want 10 internet points for remembering that one. Also, we have West Nile virus. Whenever that's detected in either mosquitoes or birds, I guess, they spray the heck out of the place. And for the next couple summers, not just the mosquitoes, but like a lot of bugs, it's better for the bugs. It's also their life cycles too. So if we do or do not get rain at the right or wrong time when they're laying eggs and wherever they do all that kind of stuff, then I mean it's just like your plants in your yard too. Like if you get a frost or something at the right or wrong time, your plants don't bloom well that year. Um, so it's just life cycles. If it's too dry when the bugs need to mate, there's no, and some years it's just that. But I'm attributing the loss of mosquitoes this year because there's always tons of mosquitoes. And there's a strange fly that's here as well. None of those are here. I think it's because that they spray for those viruses that are in the mosquito population. I'm not going to end talking about that. And I'm not going to talk about work. I'm not going to talk about work. Um, on the other side, so this is jetty that lines the inlet, and then there's there's something in the wind that tastes horrible. I'm just gonna put that out there. There's another natural rock formation that goes the other direction. It forms like this V. This forms like a crotch. Right? And the way the waves are interacting there, it's becoming very dangerous. And the lifeguards are trying to keep people out of the don't be in the splash zone, crash splash zone next to the rocks that'll bash your brains out. People are just earlier. It was teenagers that were going off on the jetty when the waves were crashing over the jetty. Those were teenagers. You have low expectations there. No offense. So, a beautiful day at the beach. I am going to do my best to not talk about WORK again in one of my videos. But it might happen. For the rest of the summer, I mean, the summer doesn't end for me in August when everyone goes back to school for obvious reasons. I don't go back to school, and I don't have kids that go back to school, and I don't have anyone in my life that worries about a school schedule either. A lot of my friends are in teaching professions, and that is a choice that they made for themselves. They've got the summers off, and they're going to have to get back to work in a couple of weeks. But I don't. So it wasn't a goal to be here every weekend, but it has happened. So write a check mark, and then right next to it the thing that he did. If I miss a week, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. Then the September is still on the table for beach days, in my opinion. So then as well. Thanks for watching. This has been Liam from Face Dated, Hampton Beach. It's a beautiful day. I hope that you had a beautiful day and you have a wonderful weekend as well.